Another reason why that you should prepare your feedings in the beginning of the shift, a lot of times in the 3 to 11 shift, a lot of nurses can go to your floor and take the feeding from your floor, and then you don't have Jevity 1.5. You know what I mean? So a lot of times nurses can come from a floor and be like, oh, I don't have Jevity 1.5, so they come to your floor and take the Jevity 1.5, and then all of a sudden you don't have Jevity 1.5. Then you have to go through the whole building, and that's all wasting time. So that's what I'm saying. If you just prepare it, nobody's gonna come to a patient's room and take the feeding from a patient's room. But if it's in the stock closet, it's actually free game at that point. So that's why it's another good reason to actually do your due diligence and just feed it and just hang it up and get it over with. So my other tip is when you're giving med pass, you're gonna have to do it really fast. Honestly, make sure you check the patient's ID band to make sure it's the correct patient, because a lot of times the name that's above the patient's bed, it can be the wrong one, because sometimes the nursing home will fail to update the patient's name above their bed or in front of their room, especially if the quality of the nursing home is not so hot. If patient A changed room with patient B and you didn't know because you're new and you don't know the patient, then you could be in big trouble because you gave the wrong meds. So make sure that you avoid medication error by checking the patient's ID band. And if the patient doesn't have an ID band, make sure you just ask them about it. It's as simple as that. In the beginning, like, it will be hard. I'm not gonna lie, like, especially if you're new, it's gonna be hard giving 40 patient medications or 20, even 20. It's gonna be really hard, but you're gonna get faster as you keep doing it. Like, this is not something I could really sit down in a video and teach you how to get faster. This is basically based off of experience. The more experience you work, like the more days you work, the faster you'll be. You'll be like, boom, boom, pop, pop, pop. But the first day is gonna be hard. But these are just some tips I can give you. I will be making a time management video on how nurses can better manage their time so that they can actually be successful with giving medications and going through the shift. If you guys want to see that video, leave it down below and give this video a thumbs up. If you go to break after, if you finish a little early, you can go to break. Or sometimes there needs to be a nurse when they're serving dinner. Sometimes you will be helping out with feeding the residents in the dining room, and then you would just go into the dining room. Usually there has to be at least one nurse just in case the patient chokes. You're there with the suctioning machine and you know how to suction the food out of the patient's throat just in case they choke. So usually you'll be there, and then after that you go on lunch, and then you come back and you do your second med pass. Your second med pass is really not that hard. It's really quicker than your first med pass, to be honest with you. And then I like to do my charting, honestly, when all my medications are done, because charting can always wait. You just want to finish your medication so that, God forbid if patient has a seizure, or if something happens to the patient, they will ask, oh, well, was this medication given? Then you're in big trouble. Or let's say the patient has to go out in the hospital because something happened. With charting, I actually have an example for you. You just follow along what the previous nurse put. Don't copy and paste. If state comes, they can be like, wait, why do you guys have the same exact thing? So when I say follow along, I mean like just use the same format, but like reword it in your own words. Vital signs, your TPR. With this patient, I put saturate O2 sat 95%, on oxygen 2 liters with the L/minute via nasal cannula. Resident is awake and responsive, in no acute distress. Status post with the S/P. 2/7 day readmit to the unit. Resident is adjusting to the unit. Safety precautions maintained. Will continue to monitor. Like, that is my signature when I do my notes. I always put at the end, no matter what I put, safety precautions maintained. Will continue to monitor, because that is the most important thing when it comes to nursing, is like the safety of the resident. So that's basically what charting would look like. Usually you would chart that on the specific patient that you're talking about chart, and you would put that in report. So with me, I don't know if you guys know this program I use Sigma. Before I used to use Point Click Care, and then before I used to use this other program at this other nursing home. I forgot what it is, but depending on your nursing home, that's how you would chart. The same note that you put on the progress note of the patient is very, very similar to the note that you will put on the report. So that is all that I have for 3 to 11 shifts, step by step. Hope you guys found this video helpful. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.